cut her dappled mare in front of the black stallion just to leave. The snow had changed to a cold, drizzling mist. What snow was left on the ground had melted down to gray slush. The lowlands were not quite ready to relinquish themselves to winter's grip. Up higher where Kalen was, it was colder and would be snowing in earnest. As they rode carefully along a narrow road at the side of a mountain, Richard tried to watch the woods, keep his mind on other things, but he couldn't help occasionally looking at Nietzsche, riding right in front of him. It was cold and damp. She wore a heavy black cloak over her black dress. With her back straight, her head held high, and her blonde hair fanned out over her cloak, she looked regal. He wore his dark horse with an heavy shake. Nietzsche's dappled mare was dark gray, almost black, with lighter gray rings over his body. Its mane was dark gray, as were the lightly feathered legs, and the tail was a milky white. It was one of the most handsome horses Richard had ever seen. He hated its hers. By afternoon, they intersected a trail running to the south. Nietzsche, leading the way, continued to the east. Before the day was out, they would encounter a few more paths, used mainly by an occasional hunter or trapper. Mountains were inhospitable. Even if you cleared the ground of trees, the soil was thin and rocky. In a few places closer to Heartland or other population centers to the north or south, there were grassy slopes that were able to support thin flocks of sheep or goats. As he felt the stallion's muscles moving beneath him, Richard looked out at land he knew and loved. He didn't know how long it would be until he was at his fifth effort. He hadn't asked where they would go, figuring Nietzsche wouldn't likely tell him this soon. That they were headed east didn't mean much just yet, because their choice of routes was limited. In the passive rhythm of the ride, Richard's mind kept returning to the sword and how he had given it to Caleb. At the time, it seemed the only thing to do. He hated that he had given it to her the way he had, yet he could think of no other way to afford her any protection. He prayed she would never have to use it. If she did, he'd given it a measure of his rage, too. At his belt, he wore a fine knife, but he felt naked without his sword. He hated the ancient weapon, the way it pulled dark things from within him, and at the same time he missed it. He often reminded himself of Zed's words, that it was merely a tool. It was more, too. The sword was a mirror, albeit one bound in magic capable of raining terrible destruction. The sword of truth would annihilate anything before it, flesh or steel, as long as what stood before it was the enemy. Yet it could not harm a friend. Therein lay the paradox of its magic. Evil was defined solely by the perceptions of the person holding the sword, by what he believed to be true. Richard was the true seeker and heir to the power of the sword created by the wizards in the Great War. It should be with him. He should be protecting the sword. A lot of things should be before it's simple. Late in the afternoon, they left the eastern path they were on and took one tending east and south. Richard knew the trail. They would pass through a village in another day and then become a narrow road. Since Nietzsche had deliberately taken the new route, she must have known that too. Near dark, they skirted the north shore of a good-sized lake. A small raft of seagulls floated out near the middle of the rain-swept water. Seagulls weren't common in these parts, but they were not unheard of either. He recalled all the seabirds he had seen when he had been in the old world. The sea had fascinated him. In a cove on the far shore, Richard could just make out two men fishing. On that side of the lake, there was a trail worn to a deep rut over many generations by people coming up to fish from the hamlet to the south. The two men, sitting on a broad, flat rock jutting out into the lake, waved in greeting. It wasn't often one encountered riders out here. Richard and Nietzsche were too far away for the men to make them out. The men probably assumed they were trappers. Nietzsche returned the wave in a casual manner, as if to say, "Good luck with the fishing, wish we could join you." They rounded a bend and finally disappeared from the men. Richard wiped his wet hair off his forehead as they rode along beside the lake, listening to the small waves lapping at the muddy shore. Leaving the lake behind, they cut into the forest as the trail rose on its way across a gentle slope. Nietzsche had put her hood up against the hill as rain and drizzle hurried through the trees. A darkening gloom descended on the woods. Richard didn't want to do anything that would get Caleb killed. The time had finally come we had to speak. When we telling people you're a sister of the dark out snatching victims.
Sorry, guys, I'm eating for a minute. Eating my dinner.
You will be my husband as far as everyone is concerned, she said without hesitation. I expect you to adhere to that story under all.
Eating my dinner while he's licking his balls.
For all practical purposes, from now on, you are my husband. I am your wife. Richard's fists tightened on the reins. I have a wife. You are not she. I'm not going to pretend you are. Swaying gently in her saddle, you could see indifferent to his words or the emotion behind them. She gazed skyward, thinking in the darkening sky. It was too warm down in the lowlands for snow. Through occasional breaks in the low clouds below, Richard had caught glimpses of wind-swept mountain slopes behind him, cloaked in thick white drapes. Canaan was sure to be dry, warm, and stuffy. Do you think you could find us another of those shelter trees? Nietzsche asked. Where it would be dry like last night. I dearly love to get dry and warm. Between sporadic gaps in the pine trees and through the scramble of bare branches of the alder and ash, Richard surveyed the hillside defending the fort. Yes. Good. We need to have a talk. Chapter 25. As Richard dismounted near one of his shelter trees at the edge of a small, slanted open patch of grassy ground, Nietzsche took the reins of his horse. She could feel his smoldering glare on her back as she picketed the horses to the thick branches of an alder heavy with catkins. The horses were hungry and promptly started cropping the wet grass. Without a word, Richard began casting about, collecting deadwood from under dense thickets of spruce trees, where she supposed it might be a little dry. She watched him not openly, but casually, covertly, in the corner of her eye, as he went about his chore. He was everything she remembered as a woman. It was not so much that he was just big physically, but he had a commanding presence that had matured since she had last seen him. Before, she had been tempted at times to think of him as little more than a boy. No more. Now he was a powerful wild stallion trapped in a pen of his own construction. She kept her distance, letting him kick at the walls of that pen. It would bring her no gain to taunt this wild beast. Taunting him, torturing him in his anguish, was the last thing in the world she wanted. Nietzsche could understand his smoldering anger. It was to be expected. She could plainly see his feelings for the professor and hers for him. The integrity of the walls of his pen consisted of nothing more than the gossamer fence rails of his feelings for her. While Nietzsche sympathized with his pain, she knew that she, of all people, could do nothing to alleviate it. It would take time for his hurt to heal. Over time, the rails of his fence would be replaced by others. Someday he would come to terms with what had to be. Someday he would come to understand the truth of the things she intended to show him. Someday he would come to understand the necessity of what she was doing. It was for the best. At the edge of the clearing, Nietzsche settled herself on a gray slab of granite that, by the unique angles of its broken face, had once belonged to the ledge poking out from under the deep green of balsam and spruce behind her, but over time had been moved away from it by the inexorable effort of nature, leaving a gap the shape of a jagged lightning bolt between their once made edges. Nietzsche sat with her back straight, a habit instilled in her from a young age by her mother, and watched Richard going about unsaddling the horses. He let them both eat some oats from canvas nose bags, while he collected rocks from the clearing. At first, she couldn't imagine what he was doing. When he took them, along with the wood he had collected in under the boughs of the shelter tree, she realized he must be going to use the rocks to ring a fire pit. He was inside a long time, so she knew he must be working on building a fire out of the wet wood. She could have used gift to have had her gift enough power left to light wet wood. It didn't. Richard seemed to be up to the task, though. She had watched him light a fire the night before, starting it in birch bark, shavings, and twigs. Nietzsche had never been one for such outdoor activities. She left him to it and set about the small chore of repairing her horse's tension strap. The rain had let up for the time being, leaving behind the tingling of the mist against his cheek. As he worked knotting the loose cords of the heavy twine strap back onto its body,
You didn't hear that.
he heard the crackling sound coming from under the tree. The sputtering and popping told her that Richard had got the fire going. She She heard the clang of a pot on rock, so she reasoned that he was leaving water to boil when the fire got hot enough. Sitting on the slab of granite, Nietzsche quietly worked a tangle out of the cinch strap as he came back out to care for the horses. Free of the nose bags, the horses drank from a pool of water in the depression in the smooth tan ledge. Though Richard wore dark clothes appropriate for the wood, they could not diminish his bearing. His gray-eyed gaze swept over her, taking in what she was doing. He left her to her knot work as he went about his chore of currying the horses. His big hands worked smoothly with a sure touch. She was certain the horses would appreciate having all the caked mud cleaned from their legs. She would, were she paid. You said we needed to talk, Richard finally said to her, as he stroked the curly comb over the mare's rump, whisking away a last spatter of mud. I presume a talk consists of you dictating the terms of my imprisonment. I imagine you have rules for your captures. By his icy inflection, it sounded as if he had decided to provoke her a little to test her reaction. Nietzsche set the cinch strap aside. She met his challenging tone with one of genuine sympathy and said, just because something has happened to you before, you know soon that means it will again. Fate does not give birth to the same child over and over. Each is different. This is not like the 2 times before. Her response, as well as the compassion in her eyes, appeared to have caught him off guard. He stared at her a moment before crouching to replace the curry comb in a pocket in the saddlebag and take out a pick. 2 times before. There was no rage in this ravine. His blank expression didn't betray what he might be thinking as he lifted the stallion's right forefoot and kicked his foot clean. I don't know what you're talking about. Just as he probed the hoof with his pick, she knew he was probing her as well, wanting to know just how much she knew of those 2 times and what she thought was different this time. He would surely want to know how she intended to avoid the mistakes of his past captors. Any warrior would. He was not yet ready to accept how fundamentally different this was. Richard worked his way around the big black horse, cleaning its hooves, until he ended at the left forefoot close to her. As he finished and let the stallion's leg down, he stood. When he turned around, she was close enough to feel his warm breath on her cheek. He fixed her with his glare, a look that was no longer as unsettling to her as it had been at first. She found herself, instead of shrinking back, staring into that penetrating gaze of his, marveling that she had him. She finally had him. It could have been no more wondrous to her than he somehow managed to bottle the moon and stars. You are a prisoner, Nietzsche said. Your anger and resentment are entirely understandable. I would never have expected you to be pleased about this, Richard, but it is not the same as those times before. She gently gripped his throat. He was surprised, but sensed he was in no immediate danger. Before, she said, quiet sobs. You had a collar around your neck. Both times. You were at the Palace of the Prophets, where I was taken. She almost swallowed. But the other reasons were, I do not use a collar as did the sisters of life to control you, to give you pain in order to make you obey. It would have put you through their ridiculous tests. My purpose is nothing like that. She pulled her cloak forward over her shoulders as she smiled wistfully. Remember when you first came to the Palace of the Prophets? Remember the speech you gave? Richard's words were written with caution. Not exactly. She was still staring off at the memories. It was the first time I saw him. I remember every word. Richard said nothing, but in his eyes you could see the shadows of his mind working. You were in a rage, not unlike now. You held out a red leather rod hanging around your neck. Remember, Richard? I guess his suspicious glare broke. A lot has happened since then. I guess I put it out of my mind. You said that you had been collared before. You said that the person who had once put that collar around your neck had brought you pain to teach you. This posture shift is wearing it. What of it? She focused once more on his red eyes that watched her every blink, her every breath. I'm trying to think of what to do with it. It was all going into some inner calculation, some inner master analysis of how.
Hello, hello, hello. Yes, look at them beautiful eyes. Yeah, you got some beautiful eyes. You got some handsome eyes. You just gonna lay there now? You had some dinner, snack, you just gonna lay there? Gonna be so lazy? You gonna be so lazy? You're my lazy boy.
His voice sounded confident. Nevertheless, he sensed the subterranean spark of dread. A Lord sick would know next to nothing about me.
Hello. Hello. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
She smiled a small smile, not pleasure nor mockery, but a distant sadness at the memory of that brave woman. She was Senna. She had been at the People's Palace in Paris, where you taken after them.
We're gonna take you to go see something.
On Ben's
We're gonna go
knee,
see
he
something.
reverently picked the red leather rod off the wet ground. He wiped the thing clean on his pant leg as if it were priceless.
What's he doing?
Lord Sid would not
Well,
do
really?
anything. He
What's he
stood
doing?
boldly met her gaze. A Lord
You see
Sid
my
was
silly
an
girl?
object of torture. She would say only enough to
See
make
my
him
silly
believe
girl?
she was cooperating. She would feed you a clever lie.
Oh.
She would die
Oh,
before speaking any
really?
words to harm her Lord
Really?
God. With one long finger, Nietzsche pulled a sodden strand of blonde
What's he
hair
doing?
from her cheek.
Is you pooping?
Underestimate me.
Is you pooping?
That woman was very brave. I felt great sorry for her. But there were things I wanted to know. She told it all. She told me everything I wanted to know. Nietzsche could see the rage rising in him, bringing a flush to his cheeks. That was not what she had intended or wanted. She was telling him the truth. But he rejected it, trying to overlay it instead with his own false assumptions. A moment passed, and that truth finally found its way into his eyes. The rage departed reluctantly, replaced by the weight of sadness that made him swallow at his grief for this woman. Nietzsche had expected no less from him. Apparently, Nietzsche whispered, dinner was
Woohoo, Simone. Simone.
I neither need nor
Simone, say hi. Gonna eat the phone? You gonna eat the phone? Huh?
That's the worst kind of thing, isn't it?
You gonna eat the phone? Oh, yeah? You gonna eat that phone? Oh. Sexy, sexy girl.
Nietzsche gestured to the red leather weapon in his fist. This woman did not suffer that kind of pain. I want you to know that. He pressed his lips tight.
You gotta tell
and
everyone,
thrust his
huh?
away from her
Oh,
eyes,
no.
gazing out into the gathering darkness. You killed her, this Lord Sid named her, but not before she did unspeakable things to you. So I did. Richard's expression hardened with the implied menace of his words. You threatened the sisters of the light because they too collared you. You told them they were not good enough to lick the boots of that woman, Denna, and so they were not. You told the sisters that they thought they held the leash to your collar, but you promised them that they would find that what they held was a bolt of lightning. Don't think for one moment that I don't understand your feelings in this or your resolve. Nietzsche reached out and tapped the center of his chest. But this time, Richard, the collar is around your heart, and it is Caleb who will be forfeit should you make a mistake. His fists at the ends of his rigid arms tightened. Kaylin would rather die than have me be a slave at her expense. She begged me to forfeit her life for my freedom. A day may dawn when it becomes necessary for me to honor her request. Nietzsche felt a weary boredom in his thoughts. People so often resorted to
Is it
threatening her.
night time?
That is
Is it
entirely up to
night?
you. But you make a great mistake if you think I care.
Is it
She
night
couldn't
time?
begin to recall how many times the gang had made solemn
In
threats on her
night time.
life, or how many of those times his hands had
Yeah.
tightened around her throat, choking the life out of her after he had beaten her senseless. Kedar Kadif had at times been no less brutal. She'd lost count of the times she fully expected to die, starting with the time when she was little and the man pulled her into the alley to rob her. But such men were not the only ones who promised her suffering. I cannot tell you the promises the keeper of the underworld has made to me in my dreams. Promises of unending suffering. That is my fate. So please, Richard, do not think to frighten me with your petty threats. More savage men than you have made credible promises as to my doom. I long ago accepted my fate and ceased to care. Her arms felt heavy at her sides. She felt empty of feeling. Thoughts of the gang, of the keeper, reminded her that her life was meaningless. Only what she had seen in Richard's eyes gave her a hint that there might be something more, something she had yet to discover or understand. What is it you want? Richard demanded. Nietzsche returned her mind to the here and now. I told you, your part in life now is as my husband. That is the way it is going to be, if you wish Kaelin to live. I've told you the truth about all of it. If you come with me and do the simple things I ask, such as assuming the role of my husband, then Kaelin
You
will
touched
live a long
me. I
life.
gotta lick myself
I
again.
can't say she will be entirely happy, of course, for I know she loves you. How long do you think you can hold me, Nietzsche? In frustration, Richard ran his fingers back through his wet hair. It isn't going to work, whatever it is you want. How long until you tire of this absurd sham? Her eyes narrowed, studying his profound innocence, if not ignorance. My dear
This is
boy,
the old
I was
baby.
born into this
She's
wretched
on my
world
heat.
181 years past. You know that. Do you suppose I have not learned a great deal of patience in all that time?
And this is the
Though our bodies may look about the same age,
little
and
tiny.
in many ways I am no older than you, I have lived near to 7 of your lifetimes. Do you honestly believe that you would have patience to exceed mine? Do you think me some young, foolish girl for you to outwit or outwait? His demeanor cooled. Nietzsche, and don't think to make friends with me or win me over. I am not Denna or Verna or Warren, or even Pasha for that matter. I'm not interested in friends. He turned a little and ran a hand over the stallion's shoulder when the horse snorted and stamped a hoof at the smell of the wood smoke curling out from the upper limbs of the shelter tree. I want to know what vile thing you did to that poor woman to make her tell you about Denna. The Lord Sith told me in return for a favor. Frowning his incredulity, he turned to her once more. What favor could you possibly do for a Lord Sith? I cut her throat. Richard closed his eyes as his head sank with grief for this unknown woman who had died because of him. He clenched her weapon with his fist to his heart. His voice lost its fire. I don't suppose you know her name.
There's the mama. There's the mama.
His concern for others would also be the thing that eventually brought him to understand the Virgin what she was doing. He too would then willingly work for the righteous cause of the order.
When they had them babies, huh?
I didn't even know her. Richard, a finger on his chin, Nietzsche gently brought his face up. I want you to know that I do not torture her. I found her eating. I was not happy about what I saw. I killed the man who did it. Honey was beyond my help. I offered her release from her pain at my hand if she would tell me about me. I never asked her to betray you in any way that the order would want. I asked only about her past, about your persecutions. I wanted to understand what you said that first day in the palace. That's all. Richard didn't look relieved as she intended. You withheld that quick release, as you call it, until she had given you what you wanted. That makes you a party to her torture. In the gloom, Nietzsche looked away in pain and anguish at the memory of that bloody deed. It had long since lost its ability to make her feel anything more than a ghost of emotions. There were so many needing release from their suffering, so many old and sick, so many wailing children, so many destitute and hopeless and poor. This woman Nietzsche had renounced the creator in order to do his work and sworn her soul to the keeper of the underworld. She had to. Only
My
one
God,
as
look up.
evil as she would fail to feel any fitting feelings, any proper compassion for all this suffering, desperate woman. It was grim irony, faithfully serving the needy in such a way. Perhaps you see it, Nietzsche said in a hoarse voice, as she stared into the numb nightmare of memories. I did nothing, not to get hot. Before I got her throat, she thanked me for what I was about to do. Richard's eyes offered no mercy. And why did you make her tell you about me, about Denner? Nietzsche snuggled her cloak tighter on her shoulders. You couldn't possibly want to say that Denner. You aren't the one she wants, Nietzsche. She was tired. The first night he had not slept, she knew. She had felt his eyes on her back. She knew how much he hurt. Turned away from him, she had wept silently at the hate his eyes held, at the burden of being the one that had to do what was best. The world was such an evil place. Perhaps, Richard, she said in a soft voice, you will someday teach me to do this. She was so very tired. The night before, when he had succumbed to his weariness and turned away from her to sleep, Nietzsche had in turn stayed awake all night, watching him with sound sleep, as she felt the connection of magic to the mother contestant. The connection brought Nietzsche great empathy for her as well. It was all for the best. For now, Nietzsche said, inside now, that's all that I got. We need to get some rest. And as I told you, we have things to discuss first. She couldn't lie to him, she knew. She couldn't tell him everything, of course, but she did not lie to him. She did have to. The dance had begun. Chapter 26. Richard broke up the sausage Nietzsche gave him from her saddlebag and tossed it in the pot with simmering runs. The things she had told him kept shouting in his mind as he tried to fit them into their proper order. He didn't know how much of what she had said he dared to believe. He feared it was all true. Nietzsche just didn't seem to need to lie to him. At least not about what she had told him so far. She didn't seem as hostile as he thought she would have to be. If anything, she seemed melancholy. Perhaps because of what she had done, although he had trouble believing that a confessed sister of the dark would suffer a guilty conscience. It was probably just some bizarre part of her act, some part directed toward her ends. He stirred the pot of rice with a stick and peeled the bark off of it. You said there were things to discuss. He wrapped the stick clean on the edge of the pot. I assume that means there are orders you wish to issue. Nietzsche blinked as if he caught her thinking about something else. She looked out of place, sitting prim and straight in a wayward fine dress as she was in her fine black dress. Richard would never before have ever thought of Nietzsche out of doors, much less sitting on the ground. The very idea always seemed ludicrous to him. Her dress constantly made him think of Taylor, not only because of being so completely opposite that he both in comparison, but also because he so vividly recalled Nietzsche connected to Taylor by the whole room of men. That memory. Orders? Nietzsche folded her hands in her lap and met his gaze. Oh, yes, I have a few requests I wish you to honor. First, you may not use your gift. Not at all. Not in any way. Is that clear? Since, as I recall, you have no love of the gift, this should be neither a burden nor a difficult request for you to follow, especially because there is something you do love which will not survive. Do you understand? Her cold blue eyes conveyed the threat perhaps even better than her words. Richard gave her a single nod, committing himself to what exactly he wasn't entirely sure at the moment. He poured her steaming dinner in a shallow wooden bowl and handed it to her along with a spoon. Nietzsche smiled her thanks. He set the pot on the ground between his legs and took a spoonful of rice, blowing on it until it was cool enough to eat. He watched her from the corner of his eye, and she took a dainty taste. Beyond her physical perfection, Nietzsche had a singularly expressive face. She seemed to go cold and blank when she was unhappy, or when she meant to convey anger, threat, or displeasure. She didn't really scowl the way other people did when they felt those emotions. Rather, likely to discover the truth. Husbands and wives have no need for secrets. Richard supposed not that they were hardly husband and wife. Rather than say so, he said instead, "You seem to know a lot about how husbands and wives behave." Rather than rising to his face, she gestured with her friend at the wall. "This is very good, Richard. Very good indeed. What is it you want, Daisy? What is the purpose of this absurd pretense?" The firelight played across her alabaster face and left her hair a torrid color it didn't in reality possess. "I took you because I need an answer which I believe you will provide." Richard broke a stout branch in two across his knee. "You said husbands and wives have no need for secrets." He used half the branch to push the burning wood together before placing the branch atop the fire. "Then aren't wives, too, supposed to be honest?" Her hand was a great moment. She rested her wrist over her knee. "Then what's the question? You said you looked at me because you need an answer which I could provide." Stared off again. Once more looking anything but the grin at her. She looked as if memories or perhaps fears haunted her. It was somehow more unsettling than the sneer of an armed guard outside the bars of his cage. The rain outside had increased to a dull roar. They'd made camp just in time. Richard couldn't help but remember the cozy times he'd had in Wayward Pines huddled beside Caleb at the bar table his father sat. "I don't know," Nietzsche finally said. "I honestly don't, Richard. I seek something, but I will only know it when I find it. After nearly all my 181 years without knowing it existed, I finally saw it." She seemed to be looking through him again at some point beyond. Her voice, too, seemed to be addressed to that distant place her vision beheld. "That was when you stood in the parlor before all those sisters had to find them. Perhaps I will find the answer when I understand what it was I saw that day in that room. It was not just you, but you were its center." Her eyes focused once more on his face. She spoke with gentle assurance. "Until then, you will live. I have no intention of harming you. You need fear no torture from me. I'm not like them, that woman, death, or the sisters of the light, using you in their games. Don't patronize me. You are using me for your own gain, no less than they use me for theirs." She shook her head. "I want you to know, Richard, that I have nothing but respect for you. I probably have more respect for you than any person you have ever met. That's why I took you. You are a rare person, Richard. I'm a war wizard. You've just never seen one of those before." She spurned the notion with a dismissive flick of her hand.
You all done eating, huh?
Impressed me with you.
You all done eating?
I'm not in the mood for some silliness.
Oh,
Richard knew it was no idle boast on her part. She was
yeah.
a remarkable ability.
She's a good girl.
Beyond if he had any hope about smarting her nose.
She's a good
He
girl.
was not acting the way he had expected.
She's a good mama.
Richard put his anger, hurt, and heart inside the phone.
She's a good mama.
Face what was rather than putting his insulting wishes, and spoke to Nietzsche in the same gentle fashion she used with him. "I don't understand what it is you want from me, Nietzsche." She shrugged in an involuntary gesture of frustration. "Neither do I. Until I do, you will do as I ask, and everything will be fine. I will not hurt you. Considering the circumstances, do you really expect me to take your word? I'm telling you the truth, Richard. If you were to twist your ankle, I would, like a good wife, put my shoulder under your arm and help you to walk. From now on, I am devoted to you and you to me." He could only blink at how crazy this was. He almost thought she might be mad. Almost. He knew that would be too easy an answer. As Zen always said, nothing was ever easy. "And if I choose not to go along with your wishes?" Again she shrugged. "Then Kate dies. I understand that, but if she dies, then you lose the collar around my heart." She fixed him with cold blue eyes. "You're right. Then you couldn't get what you wanted from me. You would have no leverage. I don't have what I want now." then Emperor Jagang would welcome your hand as a gift. I would no doubt be showered with gifts and riches. Richard didn't think Nietzsche wanted gifts or riches showered on her. She was a sister of the dark, after all, and he supposed she could manage to be so showered if she really wished it. Even so, he was sure his head would have a price, and she could salvage that much out of it if he proved ungovernable. She might not care for gifts and riches, but if there was one thing she did want, it had to be power. He was pretty sure she could gain a good measure of that should she slay the enemy of the imperial order. He bent over the pot between his legs and looked back to his dinner and his dark thoughts, talking to her easily, loud and circles. Richard, she said in a quiet tone, drawing his gaze to her eyes, you think I'm doing this to hurt you, or to defeat you because you are the enemy of the order? I am not. I told you my true reasons. So when you finally find the answer you seek in return for my help, then you will let me go. It was not really meant as a question, but as trenchant incrimination. Go. She stared down into her bowl of rice and sausage, stirring it around as if it might reveal a secret. She looked up. No, Richard, then I will kill you. I see. He hardly thought that was a way to encourage his cooperation in your search, but he didn't say so. And Kaelin, after you kill me, I mean. You have my word, and if I decide I must kill you, as long as I live, she will too. I have no ill will toward you. He tried to find solace in that much. For some reason, he believed Nietzsche, knowing that Kaelin would be all right if encouraged. He could endure what was happening if only she would be all right. It was a price he was willing to pay. So, wife, where are we going? Where is it you're taking me? Nietzsche didn't look at him, but instead used her bread to sop up some of her dinner. She considered his question as she nibbled. Who are you fighting, Richard? Who is your enemy? She took another small bite of her bread. Jagang. Jagang and his imperial order. Like an instructor correcting him, Nietzsche slowly shook her head. No, you are wrong. I think perhaps you are in need of answers too. Games. She was playing foolish games with him. Richard ground his teeth and held his temper in check. Then who, Nietzsche, who or what am I fighting if it is not Jagang? That is what I have to show you. She watched his eyes in a way he found unsettling. I am going to take you to the old world, to the heart of the order, to show you what you are fighting, the true nature of what you believe to be the order. Richard frowned. Why? Nietzsche smiled. Let's just say it amuses me. You mean we're going back to Connemara? Back to where you lived all that time as a sister? No. We are going to the heart and soul of the old world. All to Iran, Jagang's home. The name means roughly Creator's Chosen. Richard felt a chill run up his spine. You expect to take me, Richard Rahl, there, into the heart of enemy territory? I hardly doubt we will be living as husband and wife for long. Besides not using your magic, you will not use the name associated with that magic, Rahl, but instead the name you grew up with, Richard Simon. Without your magic or your name, no one will know you are anyone but a humble man with his wife. That is exactly what you shall be. What we all shall be. Richard sighed. Well, if the enemy should find I'm more, I guess it's for the heart and exert her. No. Richard's eyes turned up. What do you mean? I can't use my power. Use Richard's arms. What? It's devoted to the link with Caleb, to keeping her alive. That is how a maternity spell works. It requires a prodigious amount of power to even establish such a complex spell, much less maintain it. My powers must be invested into the labor of preserving the living link. A maternity spell leaves nothing to spare. I doubt I could make a spark. If we have any trouble, you will have to handle it. Of course I can at any time call upon my ability as a sorceress, but to do so I would have to draw the power from our link. If I do that without her here, Caleb dies. Alarm raced through him. But what if you accidentally, I won't, as long as you take good care of me, Caleb will be safe enough. If, however, I should fall off my horse and break my neck, her neck snaps too. As long as you take good care of me, you are taking good care of her. This is why it's important that we live as husband and wife, so that you can be close at hand, and so that I can guide and help you too. It will be a difficult life if both of us live without our power.
We're waiting for you to have babies. Yeah, you're going to have some babies. Yeah. Mama's going to film you. You're going to be live when you have your babies, huh?
He would never have believed this woman would have willingly given up her power for some unspecified knowledge. The very idea unleashed cold panic through his veins. Richard made sense. With his mind groping blindly in a world gone insane, he spoke without even considering his words. I'm already married. I'm not sleeping with you as your husband. Nietzsche blinked his eyes, then let out a dainty titter, covering it with the back of her hand, not his shyness, but at his presumption. Richard felt tears heaving. That is not the way in which I want you, Richard. Richard cleared his throat. Good. In the quiet of the wayward pond, with the rain outside falling in a gentle patter, and the glowing checkered wood hissing softly, Nietzsche's focused, intense, resolute expression turned very cold and very still. But if I should decide I do, Richard, you will comply with that too. Nietzsche was a beautiful woman, the kind of woman most any man would eagerly accept. It was hardly that look that made him believe her. It was the look in her eyes. Never had the vague possibility of the act of sex seemed so vicious. Her voice lost the conversational quality. It went on in a lifeless drone, a thing not human, pronounced in sentence on his life. A sentence he himself would enforce or Caleb would have done. You and I, as my husband, you will provide for us as any husband. You will care for me, and I will give you the sense of world with me. I will mend your shirts and put your meals and wash your clothes. You will provide us with a living. Nietzsche's leaden words slammed into him with deliberate methodical force, with an iron bar. You will never see Caleb again. You must understand. But as long as you do as I wish, you will know she lives. In that way, you will be able to show me what for. Every day she wakes, you will
What you doing by car? What you doing by car? You going night-night?
He stared off into memories.
You going night-night?
And if I choose to end it, the way of such madness is so crushing to be earnest, rather than be your slave, then perhaps that is the form of the knowledge I seek. Maybe that senseless end will be what I must learn. She brought her first and second fingers together in a snipping motion, simulating the cutting of the umbilical cord of magic that sustained Caleb's life. One last evil convulsion finally confirmed that senselessness. It dawned on him that this woman could not be present, because she was a creature who he was beginning to understand welcomed any terrible outcome. Of all there is to me in this woman,
What you doing?
he whispered in dim,
What you doing?
more to himself and to Caleb than to his implacable cat.
You causing trouble?
There is only one thing that is
Oh yeah, you causing trouble? Is you causing trouble? Oh yeah? I think he's causing some trouble in here.
Richard realized Nietzsche was silently studying his face. He met her gaze briefly, then looked away, unable to bear the terrible scrutiny of her beautiful blue eyes while he held the
You causing trouble? Oh yeah? You my troublemaker? Is you my troublemaker? Yes, you my troublemaker. You my troubles? You my troubles? Yeah. She's a good girl. She's a good girl. Yeah. Yeah. I love you too. I love you too. You good girl.
not the world as he would wish.
You good girl.
He himself had told Caleb that they must act according to the reality of what was, and not waste their precious lives wishing for things that could not be.
I love you too.
Richard ran his fingertips across his forehead as he tried tried to hold his voice steady. I hope you don't expect me to learn to be pleased.
I love you too.
I am the one that people expect to learn.
You gonna go night-night?
This
Is it
satisfied
night-night
Richard shot
time?
to his feet. And what is it you wish this
Is it
knowledge
night-night
for?
time?
He demanded in unrestrained
Yeah.
violent bitterness. Why is it so important to
Is it
you?
night-night time?
As pleasure.
Yeah.
Richard stared in stunned disbelief.
I love you too.
I wish
Yeah.
to hurt Richard. Smiled.
You wanna play with it? There you go.
Sank back
There you
to the
go.
ground. Why? He was
Get that button. Get that button. Gonna eat that button right off, huh? Yeah. Yes, we like to get the buttons. Oh, that's your favorite part, getting those buttons. Oh, you causing trouble now. Is you causing trouble? Yeah. Do you want your bath for the 4th time today? Is you causing trouble? Is you causing trouble? Oh. Yeah, if I make it any bigger, you spill it all over the place. Yeah. But you'll have your 4th bath today in a little while. Everyone seems to be missing your bath. Yeah. Everyone misses your bath. Each time I give you a bath, everyone leaves. Sexy girl. Is he sexy? Is he sexy? Is you? Oh, yes you are. She's sexy.
She was beyond the realm of merciless anguish and crying. She had entered the sovereign dominion of unbridled anger. Her fingers found the cold steel scabbard of his sword lying at her side. It felt alive with icy rage. That, the carving of spirit, and her memories were about all she had been. There wasn't a lot of firewood, but since they wouldn't be needing much more anyway, Kaylin put another stick of what was left into the fire. She squatted, holding her hands close over the top of the feeble flames, hoping to bring feeling to her numb fingers. The wind shifted a little. Pungent smoke billowed up into her face, making her cough. The smoke rolled past her face and followed the rock overhang up and out from their shelter. Kara was gone, so Kaylin pushed the little pot of water back onto the fire to warm it for tea for when the Lord Sith returned. Kara was probably visiting their makeshift privy, or maybe she was checking the traps they'd set the night before for rabbits. Kaylin didn't hold out any real hope that they would catch a rabbit for their breakfast. Not in this weather. They had bought enough provisions in any event. Through slits in the clouds, the crimson light of a cold, crisp dawn penetrated gaps in the snow-crusted limbs of trees to slant in under the rock overhang, casting everything in their little campsite in a blush glow. The two of them had tried without avail to find a wayward pine. The screen of trees, along with a short wall of boughs she and Kara had cut and placed the night before to protect them from the wind, as Richard had taught them to do, shielded the secluded spot. With their improvements, it had proven a fit shelter. They had been lucky to find it in the driving snow. Outside, the snow was fairly deep, but in the shelter they had had a relatively dry, if cold, night. Kaylin and Kara had huddled together under blankets and their thick wolf fur mantles to keep each other warm. Kaylin wondered where Richard was, and if he was cold too. She hoped not. Probably since he had started out a few days sooner, he had been lucky and had made it down to the lowlands already, avoiding the snow. Kara and Kaylin had stayed in their home, as he had asked, for 3 days. Snow had arrived the morning after he'd left. Kaylin had been tempted to wait for a break in the weather before they started out, but she had learned a bitter lesson from Sister Nietzsche. Don't wait, act. When Richard didn't return, Kaylin and Kara had immediately struck out. It was hard going at first. They struggled through the drifts, leading the horses at times, riding them occasionally. They couldn't see very far, and most of the time had to keep the wind from the west at their right shoulder as their only clue as to which direction they faced. It was dangerous traveling over the passes in such conditions. For a time, they feared that they had made a terrible mistake leaving the safety of their house. Through a break in the clouds just before dark the night before, as they were gathering boughs for their shelter, they caught a glimpse of the lower hills. They were green and brown, not white. They would be below the snow line before long. Kaylin was confident that they were through the worst of it. As she stuffed an arm into a sleeve, pulling another shirt on over the top of the two she was wearing, Kaylin heard the crunch of snow underfoot. When she realized it was more than one pair of footsteps, she stood up in a rush. Kara pushed her way through the boughs of the sheltering trees. "We have company," she announced in a grim voice. Kaylin saw that Kara's fist held her knee. A bundled-up squat woman came through the trees, following in Kara's footsteps, under layers of cloaks, scarves, and other dangling corners of thick cloth. Kaylin was surprised to recognize Anne, the old prelate of the Sisters of the Light. Behind Anne came a taller woman, with scarves pushed back to reveal graying brown hair loose to her shoulders. She had an intense, steady, calculating gaze that had earned her an enduring network of fine wrinkles radiating out from the corners of her deep-set eyes. Her brow was less steady, switching down several times toward her prominent nose. She looked like a woman who used a switch to teach children. "Kaylin!" Anne rushed forward, seizing Kaylin's arms. "Oh, my dear, it's so good to see you." She looked back when Kaylin glanced up behind her. "This is one of my sisters, Alessandra. Alessandra, may I introduce the Mother Confessor, and Richard's wife?" The woman stepped forward and smiled. The pleasant grin completely altered her face, instantly erasing the severity of it with open rosacea. It was a somewhat disorienting transformation, making her seem like two different people sharing one face. Or, Kaylin thought, perhaps one person with two faces. Mother Confessor, it's so good to meet you. Anne has told me all about you and what wonderful Christmas. Her eyes within the hands of her quick glance. "I'm so happy for you and Richard." Anne's eyes turned left and right, searching. Her gaze snagged on the sofa. "Where's Richard?" Kara wouldn't say a word. She looked up into Kaylin's eyes. "Dear creator," she whispered. "What's wrong? What's happened? Where's Richard?" Kaylin finally managed to unclench her teeth. "One of your sisters took him." Anne pushed her scarves back off her gray hair and took a hold of Kaylin's arm again. The top of Anne's head came up only to Kaylin's chest, but she looked at least twice as wide. "What are you talking about? What do you mean a sister took him? Which sister?" "Nietzsche," Kaylin growled. Anne pulled back. "Nietzsche?" Sister Alessandra gasped. "Sister Nietzsche?" She crossed both hands over her heart. "Sister Nietzsche isn't one of Anne's. Nietzsche is the sister of the daughter." "Oh, I'm well aware of that," Kaylin said. "We have to get him back," Anne said, "at once. He's not safe with her." "There's no telling what Nietzsche might." Sister Alessandra's mouth snapped shut. The wind carried a sparkling gust into their faces, momentarily whiting out the red dawn. Kaylin blinked the snow away. Kara, in her red leather with both a cloak and her heavy fur mantle over top, ignored it. The other two women brushed their heavy woolen mittens across their eyes. "Kaylin, everything will be all right," Anne said in a reassuring voice. "Tell us now what's happened. Tell us everything. Is he hurt?" Kaylin swallowed against her rising rage. "Nietzsche used what she called a maternity spell on me." Anne's mouth fell open. Sister Alessandra gasped again. "Are you sure?" Anne asked in a careful tone. "Are you sure that was what it was? How do you know for sure?" "She slammed some kind of magic into me. I've never heard of such a spell. And all I know is that it was definitely powerful magic, and she said it was called a maternity spell. She said that it connects us somehow through that magic." Alessandra took a step forward. "That doesn't make it a maternity spell." "When Kara used her Aegil on Nietzsche," Kaylin said, "it dropped me to my knees just the same as if Kara had used the Aegil on me." Anne and Alessandra shared a silent look. But if she were to..." Anne stammered. Kaylin voiced what Anne was trying to say without saying it. "If she were to desire it, Nietzsche could stick that cord of magic and I would die. That was the means by which she captured Richard. She promised I would live if Richard went with her. Richard surrendered himself into slavery to save my life." "It can't be," Anne said, touching mitten-covered fingers to her chin. "Nietzsche wouldn't know how to use such an unusual spell. She's too young. Besides, such a rare spell requires great power. She must have done something else and just said that it was a maternity spell. Nietzsche couldn't do a maternity spell." "Yes, she could," Sister Alessandra said in reluctant disagreement. "She has the power and ability. It would only have required someone with a specialized knowledge teaching her. Nietzsche doesn't have any great passion for magic, but she is as able as they come. Miller, Anne whispered to Alessandra in sudden realization. Jagan has Lidmilla. Caleb turned a suspicious glare on Sister Alessandra. And how do you know so much more about Nietzsche's ability than the prelate herself? Sister Alessandra gathered her open cloak back together. Her face lost its warmth and reverted to a scowl. This time, though, with bitterness in the center of her mouth. I brought Nietzsche into the Palace of the Prophets when she was but a child. I was responsible for her upbringing, and I guided her training in the use of her gifts. I know her better than anyone. I know her darker powers because I, too, was a sister of the dark. I'm the one who brought her to the keep. Caleb could feel herself rocking with the force of her hammering heart. So you, too, are a sister of the dark. Was, Anne said, lifting a cautionary hand before Caleb. The prelate came to Jagan's camp and rescued me. Not just from Jagan, but from the keeper, too. I once again served the light. The incandescent smile again transformed Alessandra's face. Anne brought me back to the Creator. As far as Caleb was concerned, the claim was not worth the effort of confirmation. How did you find us? Anne ignored the terse question.